Hey everyone, and welcome to Television from the Multiverse, the DC TV podcast from MailFuzz TV. I am Peter, and joining me as always is Connor.
I am here.
That was very matter of fact.
It was a statement.
Yes, it was a statement.
Yeah.
Taking like the lessons from Dwight from The Office, have we?
Yeah, I just felt like, just needed a statement of fact this week.
Mm-hmm. It is a podcast.
It is. It's true.
We shall talk about DC shows. No
We
welcome,
shall.
no...
I'm saving my opinions for the shows.
No hello, no...
Whether I'm here or not isn't an opinion. It's just a fact.
no pleasantries, no making people feel welcome or anything like that, you know?
Yeah, who cares about that? I'm professional. I'm here. I show up.
Yeah, well... I guess the bare minimum is all we can hope for.
Exactly.
That's fine. All right. Well, okay. So we got DC shows to talk about. We got 3 shows we're going to talk about this week. 2 of which are new. We're going to talk about the newest episode of Doom Patrol, newest episode of Legends of Tomorrow, of course. And then because we didn't have a third thing, at least we thought, well, at least do one of the archive shows. So we've squeezed in an episode of Gotham, for which we will discuss. So there you go. That's the plan. It's a quieter show again. We were quite busy this week with a lot of stuff, but we wanted to squeeze in at least one extra thing because 2 wasn't enough. 2 shows was too light.
Yeah, definitely.
They give you a proper show, and Gotham's the more entertaining one to talk about, I think.
Consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be the more entertaining one to watch. Not necessarily the better one.
Yeah, not in a good way, but
yeah.
Yeah, we have one piece of news to talk about that just broke earlier today, so we got some fresh news hot off the boat. I say that because Doom Patrol always feels so late when we get to it because it's like when our weekends are cycle.
To be fair, even usually when we get news, it feels like it was really early in the week or compared
usually
to when we record most of the time.
However, this is fresh from today. We have an actor cast in Titan Season 2, specifically for Bruce Wayne, who you might also know. I mean, I don't know if you've heard this, but Bruce Wayne is also Batman. That's just important.
On that, I actually think it's interesting they're saying Bruce Wayne because they were really cagey about Batman in the first, actually showing him, right? Yes,
Ian Glenn has been cast in the role, who's most common on these days for Game of Thrones. Here's the thing. I've got a funny feeling that he is Bruce Wayne, right? So therefore, he is technically Batman. I feel like the reason why he's not going to be playing Batman in the suit is probably because they're going to have a stunt person just always in the suit rather than have him actually in the suit.
Maybe have him dub it a little bit if needs be.
Maybe I could see that.
I know. Speaking of Gotham, what they're doing is they've got stunt people because there's a 10-year time jump for the last couple of episodes or whatever it is.
Oh, is that how they're getting Batman in?
Yeah, they're doing a 10-year time jump.
I thought it was going to be like 17-year-old, like...
No, 10-year time jump. It's proper. They're properly doing it. They're putting stuntmen in the suit, but they're CGing the bottom of the main actor's face.
Oh, God.
Into the cowl.
I can't wait till we get to Season 5. That's going to look so bad.
Yeah. So... That's how they're getting around it.
That's like intentionally doing the mustache stuff from Justice League. It's like they're intentionally opting into it.
I know. It's glorious.
I don't know what to say about
that. It's glorious for us, anyway.
But this actor's fine. I have no problems with this guy's choice.
I really like him in general. I think he's a really good actor.
Perhaps the interesting part here is his age. He's close to 60, I think.
Yeah, he's 57.
Yeah, so
he's getting on up there. Yeah.
Which is fine. Hey, if this feels like it's poising for Dick to take over as Batman. Like, I know right now the character has no interest in that.
He hasn't even done Nightwing yet.
But I'm just thinking, like, is that your arc though? Like, by the time you get to like Season 4 or 5, it's like he's ready to take up the mantle.
Jesus Christ! It's gonna have to move faster if it's gonna get into that.
You can have a couple of seasons as Nightwing.
Yeah, well, they're not even ready to get to that yet. That's probably the end of Season 2 at this stage.
Oh, let's say that. I want that earlier than end of Season 2. Come on now.
I know. I think yet again we have a British Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
kind of a bit of a trend it's becoming.
That's not that. It's just a common thing in Hollywood at this point.
It is, yeah.
That's fine. As long as he can hide his accent well enough, I don't really care. It's whatever.
Yeah, I mean he's Scottish, I think, originally, and
is he?
I'm pretty sure he is.
That's news to me. I'm going to Google
I could be wrong.
the so and so. We've had a Welsh Batman and now a Scottish Batman. That is
Yeah.
That's funny to me.
I'm fairly sure he's.
Ian Glenn, Wikipedia. Where is he? He's from Edinburgh.
Okay, I was prepared to be wrong then, but yeah, because he gets rid of his Scottish accent all the time. Assuming he has a Scottish accent still, he gets rid of that all the time.
He played the Tyrant in the Resident Evil film series.
Don't hold that against him.
I don't remember there being a Tyrant in those. I mean, I always saw the first. Unless they mean Nemesis in the second one. He's technically a Tyrant.
Who knows?
Regardless, he'd have done like a shit ton of makeup.
Yeah. Let's not hold him responsible for that.
Yeah, I'm not. But it said that was the first thing it said he was known for on Wikipedia. Game of Thrones came second.
Really, they put that above Game of Thrones.
That came second, yes.
Someone's having fun with Wikipedia. Someone's been on the edit button.
They should let me use a Scottish accent. I think it'd be funny.
That would be really funny.
I'm Batman. Swear to me. Do I look like a cop?
I don't know if I've actually heard him talk with a Scottish accent. So I don't know if I don't know if he's been living outside of Scotland long enough.
I'll add to this. I actually wouldn't mind a bonus feature on the Dark Knight trilogy Blu-rays where Christian Bale's dubbed all of his lines in his Welsh accent, because I think that'd be really funny.
It's not even Welsh's accent though, is it?
Well, no, because he's been putting on an English accent for years because he's an actor. But I mean, no, go full Welsh. I want to hear Welsh Batman as a joke, a second audio track.
Yeah, it could be funny. That would be funny. Yeah.
Rachel, I can't do a Welsh.
you can't take the Welsh accent. Is impossible to take seriously.
Oh, it is. It's a jokey accent.
It is a stupid accent, and there are a lot of stupid accents. Don't get me wrong, but the Welsh one is just.
It's too jovial.
It's up there with accents that you can't take. The Welsh accent, the Birmingham accent. You can't take that seriously. Can you imagine a Batman coming out with that?
There's some a Joker out here. I've got to find the Joker, Alfred.
What was that meant to be?
I don't know.
I'm not even sure what that was an attempt at. Was that supposed to be Birmingham?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't do accents, alright? I just can't.
As you have just proven.
I find it hard to do a Scottish Batman voice, never mind anything else.
Yeah.
I can't scream Rachel without going Rachel. Like I can't do it in my accent.
No.
Rachel. Well, I kind of did it there.
Oh, that wasn't too bad. Yeah. I don't know why we're giving you credit for doing something in your own accent.
Because it's hard. That particular thing is hard.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There. Okay, TV shows. We had shows to talk about.
We did. Some things happened.
Yes, Doom Patrol Season 1, Episode 8 is called Danny Patrol. So, obviously spoilers for each episode as we talk about them. Danny the Street is well, I'd say it's like half the focus of the episode, because there's the two plots. It splits into two quite neatly at the start. And it's Cyborg and Negative Man go off to deal with Danny the Street. They're led there by a cake. Danny's cakes from Danny the Street. So they go to the street. And we get a tease of the street at the start, of course, in the cold open, without really knowing what's going on. And Danny the Street is a living street. It's a street that is alive and can talk to them through the signs. And it's not just the signs. The signs would be one thing. It can also like blow steam through the vents and form words out the steam. So it's a bit more magical than maybe that.
Pretty inventive.
Yeah, but so they go to the street, and basically the street's been jumping around. It can teleport from location to location, and it's running from this society who gets introduced quite heavily in the flashbacks that Larry has about his early days after the crash, where he was experimented on and they tried to force him into working for him, that kind of thing. Was it Society of Normalcy? Is that what they called it?
Normalcy? Yeah, that
Normalcy?
sounds right.
Yeah. And so he's terrified when he realizes they were involved. He gets kind of terrified and shuts himself out from everyone. But Cyborg's like, oh, we should help these people, and it's like the idea that they have this constant cabaret going on because the streets keeps living through the energy of the people who live in it, but it's become more desolate and desolate because people are scared.
And the people call themselves Danizens.
Danizens, yes. So they go to this cabaret, and they, even though they're quite scared and miserable, they go through the pretense of being into the cabaret just to keep the street alive. It's like life support for Danny. And we find out the agent in the flashback at the start of the episode who went in is now one of the residents and is a drag queen at this cabaret, and they kind of talk to him, and that's kind of the big episode. Let's be honest here, it all builds up to a scene that Larry has where he's asked to do a song, and he takes the mic reluctantly and bursts into song, eventually turns into just Larry Trainor pre-accident.
Matt Bohm's there singing Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, is that a Kelly Clarkson song?
Yes. Yeah.
For all I knew, it was an original song. I had no idea.
No, Kelly Clarkson. It's called People Like Us.
Yeah, that sounds right, based on the lyrics. So it turns into a bit of a number, Morris, aka Morally Corrupt, which is actually his drag name, just for the record. They joins in, everyone's like cheering and joining in, and it's intercutting with Robot Man who's dancing with a kid at this point because the kid wants to see him do the robot. It's a whole thing.
Oh, I love this show. This is like the full song as well. Like, it's a good 3.5 minutes.
It cuts off maybe just before the end because it has this like stark cut back to him sitting there because he's not really doing this. He's just thinking about it. It's almost like he really wants to do it, but he's too reserved. He's too sort of trapped in his own skin. And yet, I have to admit, you might have went into this thinking I was going to hate this moment because I don't like musicals, but no. This was a great moment because this entire show, this idea that if they stop doing this, if they stop having the cabaret and dancing and partying, that the street will die, and that this place is kind of a haven for weirdos, and basically the bad guys who want to take this away will win if we ever stop. There's just a really simple, like, uplifting spirit of like Larry embracing that he's a weirdo, and kind of because he's been so closeted and like about his sexuality in life, right? And obviously he's opened up to the team, and they all know he's gay. But what before his accident, it crippled his life. He was running behind his wife's back. He was scared of being caught. It's been a running thing for him. So to see him unleash and kind of embrace his, this group of people who also feel like a bunch of weirdos, and for them to all just kind of celebrate life together, it's actually a really great character beat. But then to cut back to reality and find out that because it was fine when it was like when I thought it was real, and I thought it was real because it was cutting to
Cliff dancing.
Yeah, because it was intercutting with other stuff, which was clearly happening. It did this kind of thing where it convinced me more that it was a real thing that was going on. Now,
because it was plausible, right? And in this show, this is extremely plausible.
Yeah, and I didn't necessarily think that he literally became, his younger self.
No, I think that was more just, going along the lines of thinking it was real, because I also did for a bit.
Yeah.
It was more just, no, this is how he's seeing himself because he's accepting himself in this moment.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought. And for it to cut back to him, in fact, even before it cuts back to him, I want to say something. I was having a thought in the middle of this song.
Oh, that's a dangerous thing.
I was having a thought in the middle of this. My thought was, I was thinking a little bit about Titans, but I was thinking more so about Batman v Superman and those movies, right?
Okay, I'm looking forward to this then.
So here's the thing.
Try and do as little thinking about those as I can, but go on.
And just how desperate those are, and Titans as well. Titans' main flaw was that it was trying to show that it was dark and edgy, right? It was trying to say we are a serious show, and those movies were desperate to show they were serious. And I ended up liking Titans because of other things that were in it, and it's definitely the main hurdle it still has to get over. But that was like the main problem with Titans. It's definitely one of the main problems with Batman v Superman and some of those other movies. It's trying to prove what it is. It's trying to be this dark, edgy thing and be taken seriously. Doom Patrol is a darker show than any of those because of what its subject matter is. Doom Patrol is weirder than any of those shows, and yet there is a happy song and dance where I actually care about the fact that Larry's opening up. I care that Cliff is dancing with this kid. I am heartwarmed because here's the weird thing: you can be dark with your subject matter, you can care about things to the extent where you take it seriously, but still have heartwarming moments like this. And it was this moment where it says, this is why this show is one of the best things that DC's ever had in terms of live action media.
Yeah, comfortably.
Right? It's up there. You've got Dark Knight trilogy, you've got the original Superman movie, you've got Doom Patrol.
That's probably the top 3 in that order.
That's probably your top 3. And then you've got maybe a slightly lesser 4 and 5, but I won't say what they are.
Oh. The fact that you're keeping that quiet. I mean, frankly, number 4 is Legends Tomorrow.
Oh, sure, true, yeah. Legends is up high. Legends is up high.
It's not quite in the pedestal of those other 3, because, after 8 episodes, Doom Patrol is clearly the better show.
Number 5
Even
might be
though I love
Shazam.
Legends. Really? I mean, I've not seen it yet, but really?
Well, okay, I probably love Lois and Clark more, admittedly.
Okay. And you don't like Batman 60s?
I don't know.
Which I personally quite like a lot.
Yeah, I would jettison that. So, let's go on.
That's a disregard for history.
Yes. But Doom Patrol's in the top 3 DC live action things ever, right? I'm saying it. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's number 3. When it keeps going, it could get to number 2.
It could, yeah. We have to keep specifying live action here.
Yeah, if you bring in Batman the animated series, then things get a bit murkier.
Yeah, you got Young Justice. Yeah. Things get a bit hazy.
That's a countdown we should do at some point, but today's not the day to sit and claim anything here.
Maybe that's something, one episode during the off season. Instead of doing some other shows, we'll just take an episode and do a discussion on those.
What, rank all the DC shows?
Yeah.
Okay. Thus far. All the DC shows thus far.
Yeah.
Yes, whatever they may be. But yeah, no, I was thinking this during this. I was like, this is doing this song and dance where it's cheery, it feels cheery, but I care about the characters enough that I'm heartwarmed that Larry's opening up like this and that he's smiling. There was these little moments in the dance where he was kind of like smirking because he was so happy about what he was doing, and it was filling my heart with joy. And then it cut to Cliff dancing with the kid, and I'm like, oh, Cliff's doing this for the kid. He's being nice just to cheer him up.
Yeah, and then it's quite crushing when it's not real.
It is. It's kind of it's like this is what he could be if he let himself out there, and then. Nope. From within. And he doesn't quite have that much of a win, but by the end of the episode, he does punch, Agent Douchebag in the face and say, hey, tell him Larry Traynor, sent a message or something. He's like, no, I'm admitting who I am so you know who's done this. Yeah. He's standing up for who he is and these people. So it's heartwarming. It's great. Yeah. And just there was just moments as well with Cyborg talking to Danny, the street, where, like, the street would seem concerned about him, and then when they finally said the name Mr. Nobody, the street got scared and was like, oh, I can't really help you. It's too dangerous. Yeah, it's too dangerous. These people's lives are at stake. I can't help you with Mr. Nobody, but I hope you find Niles. And of course Niles is good friends with a street.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
Classic Niles.
Classic Niles. Oh, dear.
Like, everything is classic Niles somehow.
I know. Yeah,
if you told me this street was his mortal enemy, that would also be classic Niles.
That said, someone did point out something to me in one of the streams this past week that we've not had yet. And we did have the introduction of Joshua a couple of episodes ago. So if I don't get Niles streaming Joshua Chocolate, I'm going to be upset.
Oh, God, yes. I forgot about that moment.
I want Timothy Dalton to get angry and say, Joshua Chocolate!
Oh, I need it. I need it more than I realised. The beautiful thing is, I believe this show will give it to us. Maybe not this season, but it will give it to us.
Yep. No, I believe it. Assuming we have Joshua back, assuming Joshua's not a one and done thing.
Yeah.
But so somehow, like, the other half of the episode was actually really good as well. It just pales a little bit because this was so heartwarming.
Yeah, this was Larry's episode, really, because we had we had the stuff with him in the society as well, right, and dealing with that. Yeah,
because that's the first time he sees the negative spirit. He's because the video it coming out and attacking the guards.
Yeah, so you have that, and then combined with the core character being this song for Larry.
He's the A
it's
plot for sure, and then the B plot is Jane, or as I'm going to call her, rom-com Karen, is one of the personalities we've met, because Larry's feeling, or no, sorry, not Larry, Cliff's feeling bad because of what he said last episode, and Cyborg's patching him up at the start of the episode, and the phone rings, and it's this Jane, but she sounds kind of different. She sounds weird. She sounds really upbeat and happy, and
I love the stylistic shot of just the close up on the lips when she's on the phone.
And I
that
thought,
is so 90s rom-com.
I mean, could this be Baby Doll? I don't think it is. It feels different than that. But that's the closest we've had to this so far.
Yeah.
And he says to Rita what she said, "Cool beans," and she's like, "Oh no, it's Karen. It's the worst one." It's the worst one of them all. She's a 90s rom-com obsessed person who always goes back to this guy, and we get this cheesy scene where she intentionally does the heartbreaking romance, like reunion under the rain. Of course, she's got her superpowered Karen is that she can make people love her, basically. So she does this little thing with her eyes, and it makes. But he's like, no, I'm not getting back together, and she's holding the coat over her rain. She falls in the mud, and then she looks into his eyes. He's like, oh, how could I leave you? And then the cheesy music comes in, and it's beautiful. And honestly, I mean, what might be the title of this episode of Television for the Multiverse, if I didn't think it would get me into trouble on YouTube, might be "If His Dick Reaches My Bush, I'm going to kill you."
Yeah, when Hammerhead comes out. Oh boy.
Just to tell Rita to run interference to make sure Karen doesn't use the body in any ways that Hammerhead does not approve of.
If I get effed, you get effed.
Yes, that was the line.
Oh, I love Hammerhead.
There. So, and then I love that they eventually bring in Cliff after Cliff's had his little heart-to-heart with the kid outside, who comes back dressed as a robot with cardboard, and he's doing the robot dance. Yeah. Cliff is asked to take her down the aisle because she proposes to, because the family all hate her guts, and then she uses her power on the family, so then they all get on board.
Yeah, and Cliff's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I love that when she says, "Oh, I'd like you to walk me down the aisle," he doesn't get succumb to this emotion. He just kind of says, "What is this donkey shit? No, no, this is crazy. We're not going to do this." And then Hammerhead almost kills the fiancé, I suppose we'll call him. And then Karen comes back, and we end this episode with Karen basically falling into herself, essentially. So basically, Crazy Jane, she's there, but no one's home. And that kind of leads in naturally to what I think the next episode is going to be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going into the railroad. Yeah,
because we actually see her land on like a track, and she's sort of sucked into the darkness. So presumably Cliff is going to be the one who ventures in to.
This is a really neat way of doing this story from the comics. Is at this point where Jane kind of hates Cliff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Cliff's got to go in, make amends, and bring her back at the same time.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
I'm excited about next week's episode. Not that I've not been excited for the rest of them, but like
I'm excited for all of them just based on the sheer quality.
Yes.
But this has the extra appeal of, I know what we're doing.
Yes. It's funny actually because we're going to get to a point soon where it
overtakes us.
Because I'm sure there's probably been some things they've pulled from further ahead as well already, but like there'll definitely be a point where it's okay. They've used all of the plots that we read about in that first volume. So, but. No, this was a great issue of the comics, so I'm looking forward to the episode next week.
Yeah, me too.
So, no. This was a great episode. This was up there with
all the rest of them.
The best of them. Yeah, top 3 for sure. I mean, I don't know what I'd rank in them if I do, but...
it's hard, because as I can't remember who puts it, it's like, we had the Donkey Dimension, the Decreator, and...
Group Therapy.
Group Therapy, yeah. I don't even know how I'd rank these episodes. Some of them are so good because you've got Therapy, but then you've got Nurnheim.
I think,
and then you've got musical number.
I would say Decreator 2-parter. This one, maybe the Therapy one, have been the best of the show. But because the only weaker ones I would say off the top of my head, I think episode 3 was the one where they travelled to. The museum. Remember where what's his face? Where nobody's origin was.
Oh, okay, puppets.
The puppets, yeah, the puppets.
Yes, right with you.
That one, and then the one that was actually called the Doom Patrol or the Doom Patrol. were
Yeah.
arguably the weakest ones. And it's not that they were bad; they were just a bit weaker and not as amazing as as the rest.
Yeah, but all the rest of them are kind of really consistently fantastic.
Yeah. So.
And those two are just, they're very good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I have to say, I'm also like, it's heartbreaking to see Cliff being upset. When rom-com Karen tells him he can't come inside and just shuts the door in his face when he's trying to apologize. I'm like, oh, Cliff.
Yeah.
Someone be nice to Cliff, damn it! Come on.
Yeah, but then he dances with the kid, and it's all good.
Yeah, you feel heartwarmed. I care about these characters so much. Characters are so important. Like, if you make me care about the characters first, I can forgive anything in the plot that doesn't work.
Well, yeah, that's because this episode has virtually no plot.
Oh, sure.
In terms of advancement, right? No. My point is that I'm backing it up.
Yeah, but I don't mean specifically this episode. I just mean in general. Like the plot can be actively bad, but if I care about the characters and I care about like how it's affecting them,
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying this is a prime example where this episode, if you don't care about these characters, there is no plot to keep you engaged whatsoever.
Yeah,
there's nothing there except the characters.
If you have like a kind of generic villain and it's whatever, but as long as you care about the core characters, and you're fine.
Yeah.
Not that this has a generic villain.
Yeah, we're lucky to have a very unique, interesting, pretty good villain.
I might have been referenced to something else that's current. So that's the patrol. That's the patrol. Surprise, surprise! It's great. And that'll take us on to DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Season 4, Episode 10. It's called The Getaway, and we head to the 70s to deal with Nixon, who's been far too honest and is screwing up history because of his honesty.
I do quite like the idea that no, politicians should lie their asses off.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily the message so much. It's just that because he did originally lie and now he's not, he's messing up the way everyone reacted, and because of that, it's reset.
No, I get that, but the idea if like high-ranking officials, at that level, told the truth about everything, there would be chaos because of the things that they know.
Oh, sure, yeah, there would be.
Yeah,
absolutely. So they get Charlie to sort of sit in from the shape-shifting powers, and we have kind of just this running Home Alone joke where they keep going, Charlie! We forgot about Charlie! It's that scene in the plane from Home Alone where she's like, Kevin! That scene.
I wasn't expecting the falsetto. You caught me off guard.
Kevin! So I mean, that's Charlie's extent of the episode, but the bulk of the episode is the rest of the team are with Nixon. They've basically knocked him out. He had a bug in them that was making him tell the truth, and this bug will fly into anyone who tells a lie and then make them tell the truth. So we have this kind of really fun back and forth throughout the episode where one of them will say something that's obviously a lie, and then they'll be like, shit, I have to cover my mouth, and then it'll go into through the nose or something, and they'll end up admitting things that they didn't want to admit, or this or that. Meanwhile, Nate and Zari, who's also working at the Time Bureau just now while they're investigating Hank, are working on looking into things. Nate ends up with Hank because he's chasing them in the 70s, and he's trying to like get some intel, but also keep them off the trail of the legends because they're obviously they're still working with them. But it's the whole thing. The whole truth thing was fun. There was a bunch of moments where Mick said, I don't care what you think, and it was Zoom. I was like, yes, I do care what you think. Or
I want he wants to grow his hair out.
And then Ray's like, oh, that'd look good. Zoomp. No, it wouldn't. My favourite one, though, is when eventually Nate gets infected with it, and Hank's there, and Hank's like, you're still working with the Legends, you're not working with me at all, and is Zari even your girlfriend? And Nate goes, no, but I'm open to it.
And everyone just smirks. Can we just mention Zari's radio presenter voice is phenomenal.
Yes, the sexy radio presenter voice was great, especially when she answered the phone and forgot to turn it off. She was like,
yeah,
hey Nate, what's the word? I mean, what's the word, Gary?
So good.
Yeah, no, that was good because she has to contact them through the radio because they have no communicators, so she just hijacked the radio station.
Yeah.
And just putting subtle hints of like, don't take that highway. There's a traffic jam.
Yeah.
Do this, do that. The sort of the core of the episode though is kind of Mona's trying to tell. Mona. Mona's trying to tell.
Sorry, I was wondering why you were second guessing yourself then.
I was mixing up between Mona and Nora for a second. I was just making sure I had the right one. So Mona's trying to tell Sarah, that she's been infected by the, what do we call it? The Beast stood.
The Beast, yeah.
You corrected me last week, which is why I'm assuming you knew it.
I did. Cope.
There you go. So she was infected with the Cope when he slashed her, and she's turning, she's hulking out. We saw a glimpse of this last time, and she keeps trying to tell her, but Sarah gets annoyed and says that everything's her fault. But this is when she's got the truth bug in her. Everything's your fault. Me and Ava are basically split up. We're on the run. We're fugitives, and every single part of it is your fault. And Mona runs off, and then they have to go get her. So Sarah makes the big grand speech.
She runs off to a bar.
Yes. Sarah makes this big grand speech, when she's hulked out about, how they'll stand by her, even though a lot of things are your fault, and even though I'm going to complain at you, blah 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 blah. We're going to stand by one another, because sometimes family is who you're okay
being annoyed
by. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a sentiment we can all kind of get behind, I guess.
Yeah. Do you know one of the moments in this episode I really liked?
Yes.
On the same topic was from Constantine. That kind of reversal moment that he had with Sarah, where she's freaking out a bit, and he's like, "Well, I mean, if this was me, you'd be telling me this, and this. I wouldn't believe a word of it, of course, but you'd mean it.
You don't have to shoulder the burden yourself. We can all share it."
Yeah.
You're lying, aren't you? Well, yeah, but it was good, right? It was convincing.
Yeah. No, I really like that moment.
Yeah. No, I mean, and obviously it's got this sort of dark ending where Hank and Nate seem to have bonded, but then Zari tells Nate about what he's been up to and that they've been doing these experiments and how inhumane this is. And then we have the sort of the double twist for us from an emotional perspective, where Hank actually tells I've forgotten his name, Constantine's boyfriend who came back.
I want to say, the possessive thing there. I think he's Neron.
Oh sure, yeah. I was trying to think of
I can't remember the actual guy's name.
The human's name, yeah.
But, I'm just thinking of the entity.
But yeah, so he obviously, we saw he came back from before, and he's Neron in flesh.
Some weird effect on Nora.
It has a weird effect on Nora, who can sort of sense that he's there. And I like that Nora's back. It's funny because she was a big part of most of it. It was just I'd forgotten she was there just because she wasn't in the last episode. Because before last episode,
it'd been months off. Yeah.
But it was nice to have her back, and she's helping Gary out, who's. By the way, I love the montage of him doing the murder board and then just getting overwhelmed by the mother board. It's like, okay, I'm in over my head. I can't do this.
And it looks like he's knitting something while he's doing it.
But yeah, so Nora can sense he's there. She sort of gets so magically kind of ramped up that she breaks the jail cell, and she gets out. And she runs in just for it to look suspicious that she's standing over Hank's dead body. But of course, what I was saying with the emotional gut punch is that Hank was actually changing his mind, saying, "I'm not going to work with you anymore. I can't do this because my son doesn't approve of this, and I'm not willing to let this." So he actually was making the right choice. He was actually making the right turn here.
Yeah.
But then he gets killed for it. So Hank is dead, and it looks like Nora did it to Nate. So Nate's going to want to hunt her down, and of course, Ray's in love with her. So Ray is in love with her. So.
Yes.
Rate is what you call the shipping between Nate and Ray. The rate.
It's the Dragon Ball. It's their fusion name.
Yes.
And that went right over Pete's head, I'm sure.
It did. So when I say I rate something, what I'm really saying is, what would the conclusion be if Nate and Ray sat down and debated the thing?
It would be a very nerdy answer.
It would be, yes. I mean, Nate and Zari, I actually kind of like their chemistry. This was out of nowhere last episode, but every single time they've poked a joke at it, I've kind of chuckled and went, "Oh yeah," because earlier on when they're in front of Hank and Nate calls her babe in front of him just to sort of go along with the act, and she's like, "Did you just call me babe?" It's like, "Well, yeah, I was going along with it," but she looks kind of flustered a little bit when when he does. So I'm having fun with it. It's kind of cute. I think what I like about it is she's such a tough character usually and so sarcastic that it's kind of nice to see something kind of make her feel a little bit nervous.
It's different, isn't it?
In a fun way. It's showing a different side to her, which I kind of like. And Nate somehow coming off being the kind of cool one also feels a little bit different.
It is weird, yeah.
But somehow it's happening.
He's pulling off the suit.
Somehow it's working, and that's okay. So yeah, that's that was that plot.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss Hank. I'm sure it's been a nice addition.
Yeah. I liked how excited he was to be a sheriff, because you get that close up with the sunglasses going on.
The aviators. Yeah. Yeah, that was a great shot.
Yeah.
He's been a good addition, and it's been interesting seeing Nate play off him. So, but I mean, the impact of this should be good on Nate's end, if nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, my only concern would be that I hope they don't drag out the hunt for Nora, with Ray defending her kind of too long. I hope it's just 1 or 2 episodes of that.
Given this show's history, I will be surprised if it goes longer than 2 episodes.
That's true. I mean, we only have like 6 episodes left, so it's not like.
Yeah, I'll be genuinely surprised if it goes past 2 episodes, but I could be wrong.
Because I'm fine with them doing it. I just don't want it to drag down the fun of the show for too long. Or at least if while they are doing it, I hope there is like a fun element to it where it's like pitting Nate versus Ray feels like we're doing like almost a mock civil war. Like
yes. Oh, I hope they call it that.
they take sides and have a big fight. Legends versus legends.
It's going to happen at some point on this show.
And Ava will be in the opposite team from Sarah. We'll do all the possible like schisms.
Yeah.
Gary versus Mona. Like just all the.
I liked Gary when they hacked into Hank's account with the password reset. He's like, "We're in." See, hackers do say that in real life.
That was funny, but that didn't get me as much as the other line they had where. We should just reset the password. I reset my password all the time. Those memory wipe things have side effects. It's not a side effect. It's literally that's the memory being gone.
Yeah, but I think his point is it's affecting the long-term memory rather than just the last few hours. It's like, oh, that password that I knew for weeks. I think the implication is he gets accidentally flashed that many times that it's affecting him on a long-term basis.
Yes. I will say the Nixon, he's fine for what he's doing, but like, I feel like I've seen better like impersonators or better, just actors who look a bit closer with the whatever they do.
Yeah.
He had a fake nose, I guess, is what I'm saying. He didn't have the nose.
Yeah, voice was not bad though.
Yeah, voice was okay.
I mean, it didn't really matter because most of it was him sitting up, getting shot with the dart again, and being thrown back in the cupboard. So
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. That was a fun episode, and I think this season's been a really good job of juggling multiple plot threads because we've had the team split up into like at least 2 areas, or in some cases even 3. So I think this episode did a really nice job of balancing Nate with Hank, Zari on her own.
This was an interesting one of it all still being the one plot. Just tackled from different angles, whereas usually they kind of split up and do something completely different. Yeah,
because the actual threat with Nixon kind of was already taken care of. They were just kind of babysitting him at that point. It was the new threat of Mona running off, the threat of Hank catching up. Those were the real like actual plot driving forces of the episode. So, no, there you go. It's Legends. Surprise, surprise, it was fun. Usually is. So that'll take us on then to Gotham. Season 1, Episode 6. And why are we talking about this? Of course, we're talking about this because there was only 2 new shows this week. So when there's less shows, we'll pepper things up a little bit with some old content that we've not seen before, or talked about before at least. So one of our archive shows right now is Gotham, and we're on Episode 6. It's called Spirit of the Goat.
Joe, I get drunk for Gotham, and I didn't remember this episode. Before we started recording, I was like, what was this episode? I don't remember. And then you just said the title, and it's all just come flooding back at once.
So here's the thing. I said this to you at one point as we were watching it.
See if I remember.
Right, and for the record, this episode gave Connor like 6 son of a bitches. The whole thing. So about 2/3 into the episode, I said it revealed something about the plot about 2/3 in, maybe a little bit over that. And I said, as stupid as this episode has been, as generic as like murder mystery, it's doing like a cheap version of Seven kind of thing, as it's been, I was going to compliment it for at least it not trying to kind of shoehorn in the whole idea that this is connected in some way thematically to the future, and in the sense that, you know, so many of the plots we've had so far, it's been like, this is like teaching Gotham it needs a Batman, or this is teaching Alfred something, or Gordon something, but you know, there's always these hints of the future. There's always this kind of foreshadowing to it.
Yeah,
and we don't need that every episode. It kind of it's just super on the nose. And for like 2/3 of this episode, as stupid as it was just, no, there was a serial killer years ago that Bullock, you know, arrested, and now the same killer seems to be around, even though Bullock killed him. Is it a copycat? Is it something more than that? What's going on? It was just on its own. It was a murder mystery, and that's all it was. As stupid as it was, and I was going to compliment that. And then we got to the real villain. It turned out this hypnotist, this therapist, who's also a hypnotist. Hypnotherapist, I believe is the combined term. Yes. She turns out she's been making them. That's why the MO was the same, because she convinced both killers to be the killers and put on the mask and do the whole Spirit of the Goat song and dance. And when she's confronted by Bullock, she says that this is because the killer always goes after like the 1%ers, like firstborns.
The firstborns, yeah,
of the rich people in Gotham. And she's like, no, Gotham like needs something like elemental so everyone will be scared, and the city can get better. It needs to heal, and people need to be scared with dramatic examples. And I'm like, this is basically like a proto-Batman. Like, it's a serial killer, but the way she's phrasing it, the way she's talking about how Gotham needs to be scared of a boogeyman, is Batman.
Yeah. This might be the most blatant the show has been yet about. We need a Batman, right?
Yeah. Because for 2/3 it was like, so it wasn't even connected at all. It wasn't doing anything that was hinting to the future, and then it got to this speech, and I'm like, they just somehow made this the most stupidly foreshadowing episode of them all.
I have a question.
Yes.
How is this only episode 6?
how did we have another 4.5 seasons of, like, you know, we need something, we need a vigilante?
4 3/4 seasons.
Yeah, the last season's only like 10 episodes though, so I mean.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So yeah, so you have to count for that, I guess.
I didn't realize. I'll be honest. It was taking such a long. It took like a month break before its last 2 episodes, so I assumed it had been going on.
Yeah, it's so weird actually. You telling me the last 2 episodes are going to be a time jump. It basically means that the show ends 2 episodes early, and then the last 2.
I'm not sure if it's the last 2 or just the last one. Because there's definitely a 10-year time jump.
Because I'm basically thinking it's essentially 4, point something seasons of like build up, and then like one little Batman movie at the end. That's what it's sounding like.
Yeah.
Which
honestly, I think they're doing all the Bane stuff. I assume will end.
Yeah.
And then they've got the Joker
versus
Batman.
I assume so. Yeah. Which I guess. Yeah. See, I mean, arguably though, still better than what Smallville did. So that was like 9 point.
I'd rather watch Smallville.
That was 9 point. I don't know if I would. This is crazier. This is just batshit insane enough, no pun intended, that it's actually more entertaining to watch. Smallville's like a really generic teen show. It's just kind of.
It is, but I can tolerate that. This actively does stupid, horrific things. We're 6 episodes in, and it is. These 6 episodes have done more to anger me or bring me to utter ridicule itself than Smallville did in its entire first season.
No, the anger's good. The anger is what makes it mean something.
Careful now. You start to sound like someone out of BVS.
Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to the dark side. Oh, that's another franchise.
Yes.
So I mean, the other main thing in this episode, outside of them hunting this killer and like debating like who it is, and because honestly, there's not a whole lot of plot there to talk about. It's all very simple beats of like, okay, how did they know this? This never made it to the press. Let's go talk to my old partner. And it's like we find out Bullock was actually a little bit more idealistic when he started out. He actually wanted to be kind of a hero. He would run in and try and save people, and
Gotham ruined him.
Which is fine. And Donald Logue's very good. I actually, I like him.
He has been consistently the best part of the show.
He has a one-liner actually, but before he shoots the guy in the flashback, the goat. It's like the bad guy says something like, I don't know, you will be resurrected, and he says, "Resurrect this, you son of a bitch," or something like that, and shoots him.
Sounds like Bullock.
Sounds like Bullock. So yeah, that's fine. The subplot though is that Montoya is getting closer to getting Gordon for the murder of Cobblepot, and of course all episode we're sitting going, well, Cobblepot's just going to show up and exonerate him. And we get to the point, though, where Montoya and that show up and they arrest Gordon. They take him out of the police station and everyone's, like, ready to fight. In fact, the funniest moment of the episode might be here because Gordon looks at Bullock as he's got handcuffs on, right? And he's like, hey, Bullock, seriously.
Bullock, I didn't do it. And he's like, sure, I know you did.
I know you didn't, partner. I like, no, Bullock, seriously, I didn't do it. And then Cobblepot shows up and announces. He actually walks in and announces himself. I am Oswald Chester Cobblepot. And then Bullock flies for Gordon. That's how we end the episode. Bullock tries to punch Gordon. And how is he going to explain that to his fellow police officers, to his captain?
I don't know.
That he's pissed off that Gordon lied to him about shooting.
The thing is, the captain wouldn't give a shit. The captain would be like, yeah, punch him. It's the fact that MCU are there. That's the problem.
What? What, to the captain?
No, for Bullock, right? You know, because the captain is probably all on board with, yeah, just shoot him, do whatever you have to do, right?
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I think the captain's been pretty corrupt.
I don't think we've had actually any hints of that though in the show. Oh.
Do we not?
I don't think she's been actively involved in any shady dealings. I don't think she's aware of exactly.
Okay, I always got the impression she knew exactly what they were doing and was just kind of turning a blind eye.
No, I think it's more like she knows she doesn't want to know, so she just keeps out of it.
Fair enough.
But I mean, they could tell us otherwise later. I don't know, but at least right now, I don't think she's okay approving her cops to shoot thugs for organized criminals.
Tells you a lot about this show, though. That I think that they probably do.
You're just assuming that's
yeah.
So that's how we end the episode, and I burst out laughing. It was a funny ending. I'll give Gotham this. It's actually funny bad a lot of the time. It's not just boring bad. It's funny bad.
It's funny bad. Yeah.
And funny bad is actually quite watchable. So
it is. It makes for a nice late night drunk watch, doesn't it?
So I think all the shows are back next week, so we won't have another Gotham for at least a few weeks. But
no Supergirl next week though. I don't think.
No Supergirl, but we'll have Flash and Arrow back.
Yeah.
So we'll have Flash and Arrow back. Meaning we'll have a full slate of content anyway. But we'll be back to Gotham when the content dries up a little bit, along with 90s Flash and.
Should come mid-May for about another month.
Yeah, mid-May, typically.
Yeah.
Because there's a good chance in the summer it'll probably be whatever the DC Universe show is. So it'll be Swamp Thing plus all the archive content. We may get lucky and have like Krypton on.
I would expect Krypton in the summer sometime.
Pennyworth's meant to be the summer.
Yeah, that's true.
There was a 30-second teaser for that, by the way. I don't know if you saw it.
The what?
There's almost nothing in it. Literally, there's a couple of shots of like places, and then at the end you just get to hear him say his name's Alfred Pennyworth, and that's it.
Hang on, I'm gonna go watch it. Keep yabbering.
I'll keep you. Carl's going to watch the teaser so he can talk about it. There's almost nothing in it though.
Yeah, but 30 seconds. I'm gonna watch it.
I know. I don't know anything. I don't know either. Someone sent it to me during the live stream this week. I was going to take this moment to say how much I love the music in Doom Patrol. I was humming the main theme to myself after the episode.
Okay, there really was nothing in that, but I completely agree with you on Doom Patrol. It is one of the only shows I watched the end credits for, because god damn it, that end credits version is phenomenal. It's like, you know how we really like that Titans end credits version?
Mm-hmm.
This is better. When that kicks in on the back half of the credits, oh boy.
Them be words. Them be words.
Yeah, them be real words.
So that's the best pretty much it. I mean, obviously it's been a shorter episode this week, only having 3 shows, but we'll be back to having at least 4 next week.
Yeah,
Flash, Arrow, Legends, Doom Patrol. Yeah. So
might be quite a meaty episode of Doom Patrol as well.
It may be. Yeah, it could be with the railroad stuff. Connor froze there for a second. That was quite a funny still frame to have.
Did I freeze mid hiccup?
It wasn't quite mid hiccup, but it was mid sentence, and you look kind of weird. Anyway, this is the part of the show where we pick our favorite episode of the week. And you know what? Legends was tried its best, but honestly, Doom Patrol.
It was a valiant effort from Legends, but it's still Doom Patrol. Although worth noting, not one of Legends' top tier episodes. It's not put up a true contender yet.
There's only maybe a few episodes of Legends though that I would say would stand a chance against this episode of Doom Patrol.
Yeah, it's fair.
There's not many of them.
What's going to be real interesting is when we get to the end of the season for Legends, because it tends to go a bit batshit with its final episode.
Well, if Doom Patrol has a weaker episode, that week, the Legends tend to swoop in. Of course, only in our luck, Legends will have a crap episode the same week, and it'll be like, oh well, I guess.
Yeah, we get about 2 per season, right?
Yeah.
Of the crap ones, so
yeah,
could happen.
All right, there you go. That has basically been the show, Television for the Multiverse, episode 73, I think this was. You can let us know what you thought of any of these episodes in the comments, like and subscribe, all that stuff. All that does help, as does, of course, go to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, where you can support us for as little as $1 per month. You get some stuff early, you get some other stuff, exclusives, you get, all sorts. So, there you go. Anything that should be promoted? I don't know. Do you want to promote anything?
Do I want to promote anything? But I mean, you mentioned Shazam at the start of the show.
Shazam!
Yes, and I believe you and Matt did a review for Shazam.
We did
this past week.
We talked about that. That went up on Monday night, I think, maybe Tuesday, early Tuesday. And we talked about Shazam in depth for over an hour, and it was a fun time. So you can check out that. You can find that on the YouTube page, or you could find it on the MailFuzz Movies podcast feed, which has all the 121 movie shows that we do. So yeah, but if you go to Patreon, you get a nice handy list of all the shows we have and all the audio feeds and everything else. If you are listening to this on the audio feed, I mean, obviously it's easy to find stuff on the YouTube because it's all on the same channel. It's all very easy to just kind of go to the playlist and have a look. But yeah, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Guys on the Twitters at DC Comics Podcast for comic book stuff, or at mailed_fuzz for just channel updates in general and all the other content. But thank you once again. Keep watching superhero TV shows, and remember that sometimes we screw things up for the better.